Okay, guys, today I want to talk with you about tokenomics changes, and it's just a general overview why people or projects change in their tokenomics, and some interesting stuff from like the early days of crypto, and what we can learn from this point. My name is Pavlo. I'm founder at Tokenomics.com. We are like small consulting studio. What we do, it's mostly product consulting and also tokenomics consulting. So it's pretty typical quote for many founders that come to us. They say like we need to fix our tokenomics to be sustainable, and like to fix tokenomics you need to understand what it is and like what is tokenomics changes. Like there is no standard definition for tokenomics update, but what we consider tokenomics change is like protocol change that modifies token economic model and involves changes in economic mechanics, rewards distribution, fees, incentives, supply inflation, and like everything related to token, how it works, how it flows, where it comes from, and where it goes. And actually, the first tokenomics were started when the first white paper started. Basically, Bitcoin white paper, peer-to-peer electronic cash system, was already tokenomics that said as the rules for the Bitcoin, how it's distributed, what is the economic security model for Bitcoin, and how it's distributed, and some basic rules. In 2013, Ethereum was released. 2014, Ethereum ICO. 2015, Ethereum launch, and 2017, it's ICO boom. And basically, we will like just quickly remember what happened back in these days. And for the tokenomic change, I would consider the first like big example of a project change in tokenomics. It was Bitcoin XT. It's the first notable fork of Bitcoin. Basically, what happened, it's like some people forked Bitcoin, they changed the block time, and it means that they changed the block space supply, and it means they changed the economic model. So we could consider it's a tokenomic change for Bitcoin. It was done through the first fork, but it's like failed experiment, and more interesting things came after, already in like ICO era. So if you remember, like these projects, they're like all of them are first page of CoinMarketCap, and they all started in 2017, and all of them did like big tokenomic changes. It could have been like total spin-offs, it could be rebranding, right? Like ETH Land, if you know, it's currently called Avi. Monaco, it's currently called Crypto.com. So yeah, a lot of changes. Matic already in transformation for Polygon. So let's see a few examples. It's like, I consider it really interesting and fun. And the Tron. Tron blockchain is currently kind of Ethereum analog, where you could have DeFi applications, so on, and mainly used for USDT transfers. But if you go to the white paper version 1 of Tron, it will say that it's like Tron is a blockchain-based decentralized protocol that aims to construct a worldwide free content entertainment system with the blockchain and distributed storage technology. So basically, they were building like social network content platform and file storage. So there is like Tron, will provide relevant participants with the following infrastructures: high quality content platform, social networks that allows link among all people, digital currency, autonomous ecosystem, and everything. And like reading white papers from 2017, it's all pretty similar one to another. It's like ton of bullshit and pretty difficult to read, and like nothing related to like our world and how it works now. But what they actually did is they see that okay, this one is like not working. We couldn't do like decentralized storage network. They plan to do a lot of in their white paper, but when they released white paper v2, it was already like a spin-off of the initial idea. Basically, it's kind of Ethereum fork where they can have Ethereum virtual machine. You can run applications. It's like Ethereum with cheaper transactions. Everyone liked it, and it was like different economy model. So the first like case why project changed the tokenomics is like the spin-off of the idea. Then we have Maker, and if you remember Maker, like Maker has their own stablecoin. It's DAI, and the first version of it is currently called Sai. It was like single asset stablecoin, and when they released in 2015 their like first white paper, they said like we are currently doing Sai or like original DAI, but in the future we want to do like multi-collateral system, and it was like planned update of tokenomics. And it's like also a common thing when people understand the stages of their like development product updates, and they make changes to the tokenomics like as planned for roadmap. But it's like not the most common reason to change tokenomics. Okay, then we have CertiK. CertiK, it's like a meme cybersecurity auditor, and like I'm pretty sure most of you know what they're doing, but and I'm not sure every one of you heard that they have their own blockchain, and they had CertiK blockchain with CTK ticker. But if you want to try to Google it right now, you wouldn't find any information, and it's kind of shady stuff that CertiK don't want to talk about. But in 2018, they released white papers where they wanted to do like own blockchain with certified virtual machine. You can access the white paper, see what was the initial idea, but how it ended that like they see that they don't have any traction for their chain, and they decided to rename it to Shen2 chain, and it's like totally separate projects, and currently it's like uh, living its own life, and it's totally not related to CertiK. They have some integrations, but basically what CertiK did is they want to split the real business that earns the money and the blockchain and token that they don't need to. So it's one of the examples of operations change for the company where they separated chain with like token with the core business. Okay. Then, if you also remember back in the days, Monaco had ICO, and they sold their tokens for MCO token, and later they wanted to to perform transformation from Monaco to Crypto.com. And what they did, it's like they did a total redistribution of tokens. So many community members were like really angry. They were feeling like they like founders want to scam them, and basically founders like we are getting more tokens, old token holders got less tokens, and it's like pretty common case. And you might know some other projects that also did token redistribution through the transformation of product, and it's like one of the reasons why people also do tokenomics update. So you could issue new token and you could totally change the distribution. If you like, if project founders feeling they like the holders got too much, it's like one of the ways how they could react to such a distribution. Okay, we got two more interesting cases. Um, I'm I think that most of you know about Terra Luna stuff, and back in the days when it was considered successful, Near decided to do kind of similar stablecoin. It was called USN, and USN was a stablecoin that was also collateralized by Near, and it was like pegged to the dollar. Generally, most of mechanics were similar to Terra Luna stuff. We are like not going deep through the economic security, but basically they have economic security issue in the protocol. And what happens next? It's like USN protection form program. Like we are shutting down the USN stablecoin, and like you have option to ask for compensation. So basically, they had a budget hole for many millions of dollars that they were decided to close by themselves, by their own funds. And when you have the product that's like have economic security vulnerability, it has no long-term potential. It's much easier to close it rather than get a lot of losses for you or your community. So economic security issues could be one of the reasons why to change tokenomics. And like Frax, it's one more example of, I think it's the guys who are following all of the trends. Basically, when something new is hyped, Frax is always on the way just to, okay, we will have some involvement in this part. It's like stable coins, we are doing stable coins. Okay, it's swaps, we are getting swaps. Frax get their bridge, Frax get their L2 currently developed. We eat economics, we governance, bribes, everything. And the guys who are following trends, they are like constantly changing their tokenomics because they have no features, new features that are like constantly released. And just you need to be in time and update it constantly with these features. So generally, the idea of this presentation, it's like to show you the overview or like what were the example of tokenomics updates in the past and what are the motivations for founders and projects to update their token economy. Basically, tokenomics should be updated to reach some strategic goals. And main things that you should consider is like it is normal, and when some other project updating tokenomics, in most of cases they're trying to save and improve the economics rather than scam you or getting like more profits for themselves. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Yeah, and we are like small group today. I could answer some questions if you have, and we could like switch to Russian if it will work for you easy.
Yeah, guys, ask questions. You can unmute, you can chat, you can ask in Russian if you want to.
Yeah, hey guys. I want to ask some question. Do you have some ideal model of the tokenomics at the moment and give us an example?
Okay, so As for me, it's the Ethereum token model, like the only thing that's like working perfectly, and it's like the balance of demand and supply. Uh, it's like it was a long road for Ethereum to reach the stage, but as for us, we think that's like the best case because um, there is wide, straightforward uh, demand side. Like everyone wants to execute transactions, and people who want to execute transactions, you could extract value from these transactions. It is done through like base fee, priority fee, also MEV stuff. But if we are not going into like MEV, every value for gas that's like over 20 will burn you, like burn some gas, and it will create deflation for the protocol. So it's actually pretty good link between protocol growth and protocol success, because like more demand for the block space, then more Ethereum burned, and it makes like growth for the core token which you need to buy. And from the other side, like if there will be like too much demand, people will have like less transactions because they don't want to pay that much gas price, and it will regulate itself. So it's like open market for the gas, and it's working, and it's like been proven for like more than 500 days that it's working.
Okay, thank you. And one more question. What do you think? Which issue is the most critical at the moment in tokenomics?
Like in these terms, I would consider the different approach to evaluate, because it could be economic security issue, or it could be just about economics. It's two different things. Uh, Projects with bad tokenomics but no economic security issues could live, and could live long. And basically, the price of the token is determined by demand and supply. It's like open market. And I could give you just like one example. For example, like Uniswap has very small utility with governance, or some meme coins like Shiba, or maybe like Meme, Pepe, anything. They don't have utility, but they have demand, and they have pretty high valuation. But some smaller projects, they are doing like more complex stuff. Let it be like Tina or like Pendle, it's like much lower valuation than these stable coins. They could have utility, and they could have um, like more potential, like better tokenomics, but still be priced less. And for economic security, it makes um, if there is economic security vulnerability, it just sends protocol to zero at some point when it's exploited or discovered. For example, like any algorithmic stablecoin debug, or maybe like I consider pretty risky this pendle stuff with points tokens, like yield tokens and so on, because if well, I'm not sure everyone is like inside the scene, but potentially in Pendles there could be economic vulnerabilities that send the tokens to zero and cause a lot of losses for holders. If you're interested, I could talk a little bit more about Pendle and why I consider it risky.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what is like Pendle YTPT token?
No, haven't heard about that.
Okay, just like very high level. Um, on Pendle, you could create. There is project called Eigenlayer where you could restake your ETH, and for restaking you're getting points. Pendle decided that we could take leverage on that, and they could created leverage farming market for points for Eigenlayer. and these points, like leveraged points, they're priced on the secondary market. And basically, if eigenlayer decides to do distribution not linear, it will create a big hole in the Pendle design, because in their core they understand that rewards will be proportional to points. But if they are not proportional to points, everything will be broken, and like Pendle YT token will go to zero.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for the lecture.
Do you have any other questions, guys?
I have a question about recent DPEG from Libra Finance stablecoin. And so at this point, I guess it has price around 0.8, so 80 cents basically. And the team claims that there is no issue with tokenomics. The issue that happens to it, that people, so open market basically, they doesn't want to buy this token. I mean, the stable with the discount. Does it count like vulnerability of their tokenomics? Is it tokenomic issue, or they just let's say oversight?
Okay, so basically, I would consider it is a vulnerability, because they have some issue with repeg mechanism. If they wouldn't have this issue, it would be easy to convert their stable coin to some other stable coin. If they couldn't do it, it means that somewhere they have the hole in the budget. If I have opportunity to redeem like 80 cents for $1, it creates arbitrage opportunity, and like most stable coins, algorithmic or like classic ones pegged, they're working the same way, that when arbitrage opportunity is created, someone will execute it. And if it's a volume of millions of dollars, then like big parties like Wintermute, GSR, like market makers or other guys, they will fill the hole. And if they don't have this window to repeg, it means that they don't have enough like balances, or they have problems with operations. So, for example, there was the case with USDR. It's like real estate, also stable coins that was depegged heavily, and basically they have assets but they are not liquid. And if your assets not liquid, and you couldn't create this arbitrage opportunity where you give liquid funds to like market makers or other guys who execute arbitrage and push price to the peg. So yeah, it's the economic security issue, like definitely. And also for the stable coins, there is like pretty good dressers. It's called a blue chip XYZ. I guess I'm gonna uh, check it, but basically what they do is they it's not blue chip. I'm gonna find it maybe later. But basically, they create stable coins ranks, and they evaluate design and the principles, and they give a value to each stable coin. It could be interesting to see. Let me check how it's called. Yeah, bluechip.org. I could share the screen again, baby. Basically, one sec. Here. So you could just go to any of these stable coins. They're like not supporting all of them, but for each of them, they have like grade, and you could see like the scores. They have the open methodology, market cap, prices, how it works, design, evaluation, and for example, like A is Liquidity, Pax Gold, Gemini Dollar, and Synthetics USD, USDD, True USD, Euro Tether. Like this 4 gets F, this gets D, because they care a lot about transparency, reserves, and so on. So based on this, you could also make decision like to see the potential vulnerabilities or like real vulnerabilities in the protocols. And they also do research for most of the DPEGs. So if you're interested in the topic, I'm pretty sure they've posted about Libra as well.
Thank you a lot for respond and for this link. Definitely will save it to bookmarks since um, stablecoins is the biggest market cap at this moment. Yeah, and one more question about the tokenomics that broke. Um, at what point should you consider like revamping your tokenomics, and how somebody could see? I'm not talking about like DPEG of stable because it's probably already you can see that it doesn't work, right? But let's see, let's say with Ethereum or any other crypto assets, how can you say that it doesn't work?
Okay, so um, the reasons like for change could be like positive and negative. And for Ethereum, it could be like just an example for positive reason. For example, the next EAP 4844, it's like prototank sharding. It actually changes the economic model for L2s and for like data sharding for sharding on the protocol, and it's because there is something better that it's not already implemented on Ethereum chain right now. So it's like positive motivation to change something. It's not because currently something not working. It's because something can work better. And the negative motivation could be seen through metrics. So basically, when people do tokenomics and when they like deploy protocols, they get everything. They have some metrics, and the metrics could be different. For example, it could be inflation, it could be token price, it could be maybe like staking percent or like bonding rate. And for example, if we consider Atom, like Cosmos chain, they did changes to the tokenomics and they see that inflation parameter was set up in the way that it doesn't satisfy community and it has like too much inflation. What happens next? They have like community forums, a lot of discussions, like we need to change tokenomics. Basically, you see the metrics that is like out of normal zone, and when governance or like parties who are driving the protocols, they decided, okay, it's like too high, we need to make changes. So it's like some metric violated, and it's like negative way to know that some changes are needed.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for touching the topic of Atom. Um, so the issue with Atom was, uh, is it possible to dive deeper a little bit to Atom, because I'm really interested in their tokenomics changes that they've done recently.
I think if we don't have any other questions, we could talk about it. Yeah, and if yeah, just ask the question. Yeah, let's proceed with Atom tokenomics. So, what is the question about Atom recent changes?
So they adjust the inflation rates as you mentioned, as well as staking rewards, and it's just a question. So they evaluate that this based on metrics that they have, and decided, hey, we need a change, or it's usually happens from community side. I just a little bit missed on do they make the adjustment towards to high inflation, or they lowered inflation?
Okay, so basically, the atom inflation like ratio was on the surface, and it was a pretty long discussion for changing the inflation rate, and it's currently not finished because they changed. If you know, in atoms they have max inflation, they have minimum inflation rate, they have moderator and like few parameters, and they changed only maximum inflation, if I correct. And they also changed emission little bit, but it was in the latest one, because as I remember, they had few tokenomics updates, and basically most of these like issues, they are like pretty much on the surface, and projects know about them. It's like not that project has too high inflation and it doesn't know about it. And I'm pretty sure that like people in Luna, they knew that they had issues because it was talked a lot. People were not getting too much attention to it, but it was pretty much on the surface. And for the changes, they are like not finished, and they have still open discussions for a new proposal to reducing minimum inflation rate to 0. And they voted it one time, it was rejected, but it's still open communication. And basically, current metrics for Atom, they're okayish, but there is nothing perfect. And community and other parties will work constantly to make it better for a long term for Atom.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarification.
Guys, any other questions?
Repeat, please. Pendle project. We create a stable in this project. Maybe
Можно на русском, если проще.
он на русском понимает, да?
Да. Можно на русском.
Pendle что дает? Создание стейбла или там другая какая-то синтетика?
Там другая синтетика. То есть, знаешь, что такое eigenlayer?
Нет.
Грубо говоря, сейчас там в эфир экосистеме самый хайповый проект — это eigenlayer. То есть им понадобилось 25 дней, чтобы у них ТВЛ вырос до 6 миллиардов долларов. То есть у них 2 миллиона в эфиров залучено. И, больше 2 миллионов. И как бы все ждут дроп. И у eigenlayer, как у любого проекта, есть токены. Ой, не токены, поинты. И что сделали Pendle? Pendle сделали leverage на токена. И по факту ты можешь... Они сделали актив синтетический. Они сделали дериватив на эти поинты на твой потенциальный yield. И, грубо говоря, ты можешь купить yield человека, который рестейкнул эфир, получил поинты. И он там торгуется на определенном рейте. Но это все сделано из допущения, что там поинты будут линейно превращены, трансформированы в airdrop, в токены. Но если там eigenlayer это сломает, то их вся механика с деривативом на поинты, там, с leveraged фармингом этих поинтов сломается.
И это только на один проект.
Нет, у них есть несколько, то есть у них там и на Swell было, и еще на некоторые проекты, то есть у них там несколько интеграций, с которыми они работают. То есть, но сейчас это пендл вокруг рестейкинга крутится.
Можно, кстати, вот по поводу поинтов тоже задать вопрос. Соответственно, насколько я понимаю, на данный момент это действительно создает много опаски вот подобные деривативные решения на point-системе, так как поинты, по сути, являются для команды, которая их раздает, они являются некой метрикой для того, чтобы понять engagement со стороны юзеров, и, соответственно, затем на основе этого как-то распределить токен. Соответственно, это вызывает большую опаску, да, подобные решения. Когда у тебя есть некая переменная, и ты на основе этой переменной делаешь уже предположение.
Ну, да. То есть, например, есть Wales Market или другие OTC-площадки, где поинты уже торгуются. И то есть непонятно, что делать, если у тебя будет нелинейное распределение поинтов. Там, допустим, мне за 1 поинт дали 1 токен, а тебе за 10 поинтов дали 2 токена. И что делать? Вот я, например, продал 10 поинтов. 10 поинтов должны стоить там 10 токенов или 1 токен. Или я, например, продал 5 из своих 10 поинтов. Как мне тогда рассчитать, сколько я должен отдать? Я должен отдать 5, 1 или 1,5 или сколько? И как бы OTC-площадка, она берет депозиты, она себя страхует, то есть они там в проигрыше не будут. Но сама механика сеттлмента при нелинейном распределении может очень сильно сломаться. Поэтому это как бы несет риски. И вот в secondary market point я бы не лез. Причем с двух сторон тебя могут как бы наказать. Ты можешь, потому что когда ты продаешь поинты, тебе тут тоже нужно вносить security депозит, и он часто, ну, например, на whale маркете, по-моему, он двойной от размера твоей продажи. То есть, если ты даже, у тебя там есть 10 поинтов в Eigenlayer, и кто-то и хочет тебя купить на $10, тебе надо $20 внести там, security депозит, пока ты эти поинты не отдашь.
Ну да, и, соответственно, вот по поводу нелинейного распределения, это касается всяческого рода дополнительных критериев, которые может проект вводить. В общем и целом понятно, спасибо.
Ну, чаще всего делают тиры, то есть из последнего такого, ну вот Джуп был большой, который, ну, DeFi приложение на Solana, главное, то там в зависимости от объема ты попадал в какой-то тир. И там, если в рамках одного тира у тебя там было или 800 поинтов, или 1200 поинтов, ты получал одинаковый реворд. А если у тебя там как раз ты переходил за границу тира, там условно с 1000 на 1002, это два разных тира, у тебя поинтов маленькая разница, но дроп уже отличался там условно на существенное количество процентов.
Так, ну что, еще вопросы? Ну что, тогда завершаем? Так, ну если вопросов нет, Павел, спасибо тебе большое, что пришел к нам. Такая классная развязалась дискуссия. Вот, спасибо, что подробно ответил на все вопросы, уделил столько внимания. Ну, очень надеюсь, что ты придешь к нам еще раз. Вот, было очень здорово, что мы и на русском, и на английском вообще все, что можно, охватили. Вот, ребят, спасибо. Всем хорошей пятницы и хороших выходных.
Да, всем спасибо, хорошего вечера, и если что, то там, смогу еще там на пару вопросов в Дискорде ответить, если когда-то будут.
Всё, спасибо, пока.
Да, спасибо. Поинты наши все. Спасибо за разъяснение. Всем пока.
Спасибо, спасибо. Пока.